The story of the Queen of Sheba, the throne and the prophetic meeting. In the far south of the Arabian Peninsula, where the sun embraces the mountains and the sand is scattered like ancient secrets, a kingdom arose known in the heavenly books and historians' books as Saba. This kingdom was full of goodness, mediating trade routes between east and west, and water flowed through its sides from the great Marib Dam. It was known for its wealth, markets, perfumes, and incense that was sent to the temples of Babylon and Egypt. In this kingdom, a woman appeared the likes of whom time had never seen, in good management, eloquence of speech, and beauty of appearance, Bilqis. Who is Bilqis? There are different accounts of her lineage. Some commentators said that she was a descendant of Yarub bin Qahtan, and others said that her father was a wise king who married a jinn woman, and she bore him Bilqis. It was said that she inherited the kingdom after the death of her father, or after the people rebelled against one of the dark kings. Whatever the lineage, Bilqis had a sound mind, combining wisdom and shrewdness. She was not a woman to be underestimated, but rather she was obeyed by her people, and her opinion was sought in matters of war and peace. She sat on a great throne, studded with gold and pearls, above which rose columns of ivory, guarded by trained horses and guards in ornate clothing. A message from a prophet. In Jerusalem, where the prophet of God Solomon, peace be upon him, the owner of the jinn, the wind, and the birds, ruled, his day, as usual, began with arranging the soldiers and reviewing the kingdom's orders, until he noticed the absence of the hoopoe. The hoopoe returned after an absence and said to Solomon what made the prophet's heart beat in astonishment. "I found a woman who owned them, who was given everything and who had a great throne. I found her and her people prostrating to the sun instead of God." Solomon pondered this news, then wrote a short but great letter. It is from Solomon, and it is, "In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Do not rise above me, and come to me as Muslims." He ordered the hoopoe to carry her to the Queen of Sheba. Bilqis receives the message. In the ruling council, where Bilqis was sitting in a silk-encrusted robe, surrounded by ministers and princes, the hoopoe came to her and dropped the letter. She took up the letter and read in a low voice, "It's from Solomon." One of the ministers whispered, "A king asks for tribute?" Another said, "Maybe he wants an alliance." But Bilqis was silent, then said, "O people, I am being given a generous book. It is from Solomon, and it is, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Do not rise above me, and come to me as Muslims." Voices rose in the hall, some suggesting war, some preferring to wait. But Bilqis, in her wisdom, said, "When kings enter a village, they corrupt it, and make its most honorable people humiliated. Let us test him with a great gift. If he accepts it, he is a king, and if he rejects it, he is a prophet." Bilqis collected a gift the likes of which the earth had never seen: gold, silver, jewels, slaves, and camels loaded with musk and perfumes. The caravan marched to Jerusalem. But when the gifts reached Solomon, he was not impressed by them, but said, "Do you have money? What God has given me is better than what he has given you. Rather, you rejoice in your gift. He refused the gift and said to Bilqis's messengers, "Go back to them. Let us bring them soldiers they cannot handle." Bilqis decides to go. She was rejected and realized that it was not a matter of a king wanting money, but rather a matter of a prophet calling for a new religion. She said, "I will not send an army, but I will go myself to see this man and understand him." She went out in a huge royal procession, heading to Jerusalem, and the hearts of her entourage were filled with astonishment. The throne moves in an instant. Solomon knew of her imminent arrival, so he wanted to show her some of God's signs that would make her certain. He said, "Which of you will bring me her throne before Muslims come to me?" A demon from the jinn said, "I will bring it to you before you rise from your place." Then a man who had knowledge from the book said, "I'll bring it to you before your limb bounces back." In a moment the throne was placed before him, and Solomon contemplated it and thanked his Lord. The expected meeting. Bilqis entered upon Solomon, and saw him in the majesty of prophecy, not as a human king. She looked at the throne and said in astonishment, "As if it were him." Then she was invited to the palace, which was a pure glass edifice, with water passing under it. She thought it was real water, so she revealed her legs. Solomon said to her, "It's a corridor of bottles." Then Bilqis realized that he was a prophet, and that what she saw was not from the world of magic, but from the light of faith. She said, in a moment of reverence, "My Lord, I have wronged myself, and I have submitted with Solomon to God, Lord of the worlds." The end and the lesson. Bilqis converted to Islam, returned to her kingdom as a believer, and became a symbol of the wise leading woman, who was not blinded by pride, and whom the king did not prevent her from following the truth. Her story is not mentioned in the Quran in vain, but because it is a story of mind and heart, strength and humility. A woman who owned everything, and then chose what was greater than everything.